Molweni Bethuna and welcome to Conversations with Z. Igama lam ndinguZinhle Limba. I've decided today to speak about moving back home, right? It's a catch-up session / story time. I don't know what it is, but I've decided, but I'm going to sit down. So let me just sit down and keep you guys posted as to why I've moved back home. Most people will assume that I've moved back home because and that's not the case. Abanye abantu bayabona xa ndifota iba man andisafforded my own space. Nobody they're not brave enough to ask, but bayabona ba man utheni ungathi lo muntu ugodukile. So I have decided to ngihlale phansi ke ndibalisele what's really happening. So last year I moved out of home, right? And I got the time or chance to be my own person, to be independent, right? And like moving out of home presented an opportunity for me to discover ngubani uZinhle. What does Zinhle like? What does Zinhle like doing, right? It gave me the time to design my own space, to discover what sort of furniture I like. And I must say, my space looked beautiful. It represented who I was. And more than that, it unchained me from the responsibility that comes with being a breadwinner. You know, xa ungumntana osuka ekhayeni elingathathi ntweni uba noxanduva loba usebenze okanye usebenzele uphucula ikhaya lakho. Olo xanduva ke comes with a lot of weight on your shoulders. No one tells you to do this, but naturally you feel obliged to do something, because as a child, like when you dream of bettering yourself and the life of your family, right? So then when things fall apart, you start like planning as to what it is that you will do to catch those things from falling apart. Okay, what is it that you can do to better your home? So that was just me growing up. I've been someone from my mom passed away when I was 17. And my mom was very goal-driven. She loved beautiful things and she worked very hard to better the life of my family. I remember about 2005, umama wami uthenga iseti kwa-Fun Seat, right? And then wasiyala wathi asinoba nanto umuntu akaba uba sawujongana nokutya ndiqolulelamba ebuswini kwenzela bana indlu yona leni ilunge. She went to buy izitulo, coffee table and imethi kwa-Fun Seat, othenga i-bedroom suit, like elungisa mane ephucula ikhaya. So when she passed away, things started falling apart, and mna as uZinhle, a young girl that wants to better her family, I made sure that once I started working, while I was working at a call center, I do something to improve my home. So I remember when I was 21, built a yard mnasana ekhaya at age 21. Ndenza built-in wardrobes ekhaya, ndafaka laminated floor mna ekhaya. Those are the things enikwazi ukukhomba ndithi ngemali yam ndenza 1 no 2 no 3. So I was that child. And then as ixesha lihamba, I got to also take or step in and take care of my niece and nephew, because my sister was unemployed, right? So I was helping umakhulu with doing that. I wasn't doing it all by myself. But I must say that came with a lot of pressure and a lot of weight on my shoulders, because I wanted to do so much for my family that I lived in debt. I remember at some point I would rely on overdraft or FNB. I think FNB at the time I ended up trying temporary loan. So I would use my whole salary on buying groceries and doing 1, 2, and 3 for ekhaya. Just banza yoboleka la mali kwa FNB ku ATM. Xa ndipeyileyo ndiyayazi bana ndithopa apha ngala mali yakwa FNB. Uyabona ne? Luckily utata wayesekhona ngelo xesha, mhlawumbi xa ndiphelelwe imali ndicele naku utata. And that was just not a good financial standing. Like I was bad with my finances, horrible to say the least, to say the most actually. So many, when the opportunity to move out of home and stay all by myself was presented to me by getting umsebenzi kude from home, it felt like a ticket Bana, Z, for the first time, just prioritize yourself. You've always been about improving your home, improving your family, the life of your niece and nephew, all of that. But khawuke uzikhathalele, khawuke uzihoye, yabo. So when the mover out of home, it was so nice because I got to meet Uzinhle that I never knew. I got to design my space, to make it youthful, to make it young, to make it speak to me. Kaloku xa uhlala kokwena ukwazi ukwenza into oyithandayo. Umzekelo ngona ndihlala nomakhulu kakhulu wayezithanda ii-flowers, zazinintsi ii-flowers zakhe, and at the time into ebayiplant mama was not fashionable, enazo neevazi. And I'll be like, mayihambe le, and those things would hurt her, right? So I couldn't do as I pleased because being yondlu yam. So now that ndiyazihlalela, I'm free. I am free to buy a silver fridge instead of white because I want that. I could buy a stand instead of a room divider. Like, I had the luxury to just be myself, right? I would come back home. I'll just sleep and lay. My place was so spacious, like, especially when I started renting houses, right? Because I rented 2 houses, not at the same time, but like, especially when I rented the last house, I had a space where I could pray, a room where I used that room as a closet, right? It had my clothes, and also I would pray Payana. Sometimes I would pray Efranti. That house was so me. It was a representation of myself. And I enjoyed bringing people in. Like, I enjoyed hosting. And I always kept like MCC on my fridge. I would make mimosas for people. People could come and share their problems with me. I would pray with people. I would read scriptures with people. It was so me. It was really me. I loved it with all my heart. I loved that I could go to the gym and come back whenever I wanted to. I didn't have to answer to anyone. So it was very nice. However, I had a dream once. The first time I had this dream, it felt like I was coming back home to my place, and in that space, there were elders from my family. Kwakukumakhulu, omakazi, nomama. And then bandibuza bana uyishiya nabani indlu. This is last year. Uyishiya nabani indlu. I didn't understand uba ndishiya nabani indlu njani. When I woke up, ndathetha nalo bhuti ke lo ndithi kuni ndihlekisana naye. Ndathetha naye, I was like, yo, bhuti, I had this dream to Kalel. And I fear that I need to move back home. I had this dream, and I think God wants me to move back home. Okanye he feels that I've neglected home for far too long. So for him, the voice of the elders that spoke to me resembled God for him, because asimazimo suThixo bunjani, right? None of us have seen him. Well, I'd like to think. So in my thinking, I'm thinking that God uses the people whose faces we are used to speak to us in our dreams. They tap into our subconscious to speak to us. Ingathi they guardian angels, right? I'm not saying like my mom spoke to me. I'm saying my God spoke to me using a familiar face, which happened to be my mom. And he knew that I would value whatever that my mom would say because we were close, right? So then I owned lento bangabana, hey, you know, I think the tatele tiki the too far of being away from home. Because truth be told, truth be told, when I left home, I left with all my being. I didn't have monthly allowance that I was giving Kim no Lukan, right? I just left. I would help out when I can, but not like every month I would do something, but not as much as I should, I feel, right? Because as much as we run away from city snap black tax, but sometimes, all the time, God does not bless us just for the sake of blessing us. God is blessing you so that you can bless others. That's why uThixo enika wena imali enganika umuntu ogcisayo. Uyinika wena because utrustile ba wena uzakwazi kwabela nabanye. By you being blessed, you bless others. But I decided to do a selfish act because of my traumatic experiences and the fact that bendidikiwe kusoloko indim lona onceda abantu, yabona ne, and ndayibaxa kakhulu, and it was unlike me, right? This is me just being honest. So I was like, I think it's like so I think it's either, this is what's going to happen, it's either I need to move back home, or I need to make sure that I help in improving things at home while I'm here. Okanye, I will lose everything that I have. uThixo kaloku uyathetha na kuqala athi kusibini athethe because he's a God of many chances. But when he sees that you don't listen, he will use force for you to listen. Yabona ne? So ndathi kuye, the last thing that I wanted is for me to lose the comfort that I have. I think I'm going to move back home. Okanye, I need to help out, yabo. And then it's like, no man, you do what you think is best for wena. But again, yani, it doesn't make sense why you're not really helping out at home, yabo. Okay, yeah, I started like helping out at home and all of that. Until ndimane ndilala ke ngoku. Xa ndilale nje kakuhle, xa ndivukayo ibe ngathi ndilapha ekhaya sightsee. It was so weird. Like ndiyalala, before I opened my eyes, ndiqonda like ndiphi. Like it was every time when I woke up, I would ask myself bandiphi. Even though I know bandileliphi, ingathi like ndizovuka ekhaya. So I think it was me missing home, right? I think it was me missing home. Okanye mhlambi uThixo was pushing le agenda yakhe uba funeke ndibuyini. So then this year I decided to like come up with my long-term goals as to where do I want to see uZinhle. Uzinhle lona ndifuna umbona phi. Uyabona, where am I going? Right? I've graduated, I've worked, but where is it that I'm really going, right? I looked at my long-term goals and my short-term goals, and I discovered that as much as moving out of home has given me liberty and freedom, right? I cannot afford to continue renting if that I'm not about to share with you guys, because renting became expensive because I need to pay rent, I need to buy electricity, I need to travel to work by Uber because Estranda you can transport a local. So I need to take Uber from my place to school, from school to home, from my place to the gym, from the gym to home. So like a lot of my money was spent on transport, and every week I need to travel to Ekaricha because I need to go to church in Mandalay. So I would request from Strand to Mandalay every week, and Mandalay to Strand. Sometimes from Strand to Sightsee because I need to see by Kayak Shotantoni, buy groceries. Like I did weekly groceries at Pekaiba, Shotantoni, Manendi Songes. So I would buy groceries for Apple every weekend, dilapa weekend, depending on the sugar app and Mandalay, Mandalay, so I was spending a lot of money on transportation. And I was like, I cannot afford to live this way. If anything, I should just rather consider to move back home. Diaz ba transport problem yam transport car. Just by the only challenge that I have is transportation. So one of the reasons why, this is the reason why I wanted to move back home. So in the Eastern Cape, after building in the Eastern Cape, returned home, and some of the things been as a for his service. So that's share because I was preparing to move back home. Cheeky. kwacha. So ezi zinto ndishiya apha esides because it didn't make sense for me to take ezi zinto ndiye nazo estrand, then ndiphinde ndibuye nazo estrand xa ndibuza. Ndashiya izinto zam ihita into, ndashiya izinto apha esides C, uyabo, kwacha. When the house burnt, I was planning to move back home on the weekend. So I was like, uThixo works ngendlela zakhe, because I think God knew that I was going to be hesitant to come back home. So waqonda bana makafake la force yakhe, makave sikatshisa indlu ndizokwazi uqinisekisa uba hayi mandibuye, ndinida ubuye. Because I always refer to stories kaYona. Uyona was comfortable. He knew that he needed to go to Nineveh, but wafuna uyeTarshish. What did God do? Wazikisa inqanawa. The ship sank because Uyona was at a place that he was not supposed to be in. So me being in Strand, uThixo ubenike a chance from the previous year, but I didn't listen. So I thought makatshisa ndizokwazi ke ukubuya by force. That's the relationship that I have with God. Hence, I wasn't really troubled when the house burnt, because ndiyayazi bana it's God that did that. Abantu abaninzi banalaa bana like ayihambi yodwa ubusaka kwatsha. No, ihamba yodwa, ihamba noNkulunkulu. If it meant that God will use people to conspire and have negative thoughts for my house to burn, so be it. But in my heart of hearts, I know that ultimately igama eligqibayo lelikaThixo. And that's what happened in my situation. So that I moved back home. I'm not going to lie, my moving back home has its challenges. One challenge between being a transport. Yo, transport in stress. I don't even want to think about it. I don't even want to think about transport and the issues that come around it. More than the expense is the inconvenience. You come back tired. You are changing. It's an unpleasant situation. Man, transport driver and I was like, can God hear the driver's words and just bless me with a car, please? Because I cannot handle the going up and down. It's a lot, and it's tiring. And also being home means that, number one, my apekaya kukhulu compared to the spaces that I rented. So my furniture has been swallowed by the indlu. It's because like kuchile, so ndathatha my furniture ndayisebenzisa apha. I feel like it's not beautiful, and I love beautiful things. Ndiuzinhle izinto feke zibenhle, and it's I don't like it. I don't really like it. I've outgrown it. I feel like there's a lot that I need to still do to better my home still. But now it's nice because I'm doing it at my own pace and I don't feel obliged to. And also staying with Umntwana Bazana, oh my goodness, it stresses me out because uzawuthatha impahla zakho azinxibe, athathe makeup yakho, yo uyamosha uKim, uyadimosha uKim, uLukhanyo unechiki zakhe, kuba uzawutshaya i-okapape neetshomi zakhe kule flat, and I need to worry about him. Are you studying? And theni ningahlambanga izitya, hlambani izitya. It becomes too much. It's too much. But on the same breath, I love that I'm here with my family. I'm present, right? I have more time to relax. I have more time to speak with my friends and be with my family. I still have my own time. I'm all by myself. Yeah, man, and I'm also closer to and I'm closer to church as well. It's no longer expensive for me to go to church. There's just so much that's beautiful about moving back home. The betterment of the relationship that I have with my niece and nephew. There's so much that still needs to be done in the house, right? But there's so much that's been done already, and I'm proud of myself for doing that. And also sometimes we focus so much on building, the actual building. Kanti, you need to build the people inside the building, the people within the building, so that when the people that you stay with at a better place and at a healthier place, the house will be nice and warm. It's not going to be cold. So, yeah, man. So, for my financial stability and my growth, you know, being home is the best thing that has happened to me. That's the best thing that has happened to me. It's not a downgrade, it's an upgrade, because my finances are better now, and I'm doing better things ngoku than I was when I stayed all by myself. But the staying all by myself, guys, was needed. I needed to be away and to breathe and to be myself and to find myself in order for me to be here. It's like my cup was replenished while I was all by myself, and now I'm able to pour to other people's cups because my cup is full, if that makes sense. I'm not pouring from an empty cup. And yo, kumnandi, guys. I stayed with umalume for a month before he moved back to the Eastern Cape, and that was just beautiful. It gave me the essence of family. Uyabona. I'm not sure what else I'm forgetting, but I just want to say to abantu, oh, by the way, the part about FNB, guys, it was back when I was at a call center. But right now, I've been better. Not the best, but I've been better than then. I still make financial mistakes, but I am responsible and I'm growing, right? And I'm growing. So I'm financially at a better place, because obviously in Mdala, oh, I feel like no business sami sikhulu, ayibo thena nganqanda ba mandihlale kahle bene posture, ayibo suke ndithi so annoyed. But yeah, man, like when uyazazi bongibani, you know what's good for your growth, you know what's good for your finances. If it means babuyela kokwenu for you to regain your financial position, do that mntasekhaya. I consider myself blessed and fortunate to have a place where I can run to. Ntokozo says, I know a place I can always run to in times of distress, confusion. So, in time of distress and all of that, now I have a place to run back home to. So, I wish now, and you feel like urenta is too much. Only you know what's good for you. And people don't care. People generally don't care about what you do or your next move. Out of 100 people, maybe 5 people care. Maybe 2 people will judge you. But ultimately, do what's good for you. Do what's good for the long term growth yakho. Uyabona ne? Do what's best for you. Also, I'm not saying back home. For the people that also want to move out, move out. If you want to move out of home, that's also good. Asifani betuna, like we do things in we are in different stages of our lives. I'm just saying that if you are fortunate to still have a place, but yeah, also am cognizant of the fact that there are people that are abused. There are people that home doesn't feel like home, it's just a house. There are people that are out because they just want to grow. I call trauma. They just want to live. And that's also okay. Anyways, before I end this video, I've asked a clip about what did they miss about not having me around, and what did they enjoy about me not being around. So I'll show that clip at the end of this video. For now, please do like, comment, and subscribe. And yes, wrong. So suppose bandit. Please like, comment, and subscribe. See you guys next time. Bye bye in between. Yes, that's how I'm supposed to do it. So those are a few questions there. Then Nina be honest as you can. Okay, so mntu makaqala athi bongibani?
Igama lami Kimberly.
Hayibo Lupa. Ichaza lakho lo igama. Okay, so there's a video about me moving back home, ne? Yeah, so that's why it's as honest as they can be, ne? So when I got a job, ndamuka mosapisa etsi ndayohlala estrand konda ndihlalisa phansi before ndihambe. Nyakomo, how did you feel xa ndisithi bani okay ngoku andozihlala nale ndiyahamba? Kuwe kwakutheni Kim?
Ndisakhumbula but it's like ndandithanda kodwa.
Xa ndisithi ndiyahamba. Wena Likhanyo?
Zange kho right because like I know like uba like izoba khona ishotayo endlini like awuzocaca uba like indawo yakho ayikho. So like kwange kho right but yeah like we had to like to accept like no kuyo.
Okay, so now that ndimkile, what was nice? Ndamka ke ngoku. Like what was nice about mna ndingekho? Honestly, so isazithi kwakuyikhona into emnandi ngoba ndingekho. What was nice for wena? Who's gonna answer first?
Into emnandi, to be honest. Like sasingazungqisa like lase kwakekho rules mandingaba nditsho endingabikho rules so like it was like ndiyazi icikisa njani but
Kwakumnandi.
akumnandi
Kwakumnandi like sihle soyithuqa.
akumnandi because like zazizenza lokutya yonke into like sesizinesi
Bipolars. And then what was not nice about me being away from home?
Complete the question.
Like into engekho mnandi by me not being here. So uchazile ibimnandi ne ibinto ebingekho mnandi ke kuba ndingekho okanye into that you missed.
Into like bendikhumbula like uba like usihoye kakhulu eyo nto like into besiyimane siyicinga qho like phofu mna into bemandiyicinga oko xa like ngelixesha ubungekho like bendicinga like bendiyazi uba like if like bukhona ngobenziyazi uba into i-straight like akukho nto like ndiyenzayo ingathi secaleni yabo so ndingathi into bendikhumbula mna bendikhumbula like indlela ubusiphatha ngayo.
Kim?
That's the most bendikhumbulayo. Into engayaziyo.
Kaloku bekumnandi kuKim ngoba ndingekho ndingabuyi. So that's why akakwazi ukuthi uba like bekhumbula nto because akho nto beyikhumbuli. Now that ndibuyile ke ngoku, what's annoying about uhlala nami? Tata kaloku.
Akho ndi-annoying.
Hayi uyaphosisa uhlekela ugqiba uthi awuyazi uzayithela njani.
Like akho ndi-annoying.
Hayi.
Because like iyadika like
Uyaphosisa.
serious.
Uyeba uyayihleka wathi akayazi uba ngayithela kanjani.
Like serious man like akho ndi-annoying qha like it's just uba akho wena like siyayazi uba like ingathi like kukho umntu omdala yabo because like andiyazi ucisa njani le nto.
Kim, what's annoying? Ukim akazinele kwezi question. Bekhumbula ntoni Kim bengakhumbuli nix. Now that bekumandi. Now that ndikhona ke into edikayo Kimberly.
Edikayo. Ayikho.
Hayi ndiyaphosisa ndiyibhilive. Hayi ke it's fine.